friends. Welcome to our Tune In Tuesday yoga practice. Don't mind Betty, she's just always practicing Shavasana. So if you ever need a break, follow the dog guru. She definitely has some wisdom for sure. All right, friends, so sitting up nice and tall. We have some stress on the menu, some asthma, fatigue, hips, and low back. If there's anything else that you want to add, please feel free to type it into the chat. I will always try to be mindful of it and monitor it as we are in position, okay? All right. Oh, osteo, it's okay to arch the back, just not forward fold. Good advice. Thank you so much, Lori. Yay. I love it when our community can help each other out. Perfect. And so I'll be mindful about that as well. Okay, just one more. Come on over. Never to round the back. Yeah, okay, good. Good, good. Take care of yourselves. That is always what I ask all of you to do, is that you know your body best. Listen to your body. All right, friends. So once you find your comfortable seat, you feel even left to right, forward and back. Let's bring those shoulders over the hips and find some stillness here. Once you find stillness, then let's find our breath. Notice how that breath is flowing in and out. Hi, Charlotte, welcome. My foot supination, which is causing pain in my knee and lower back, but good morning. Got you. Okay. Yep, that can definitely happen. That's always something I like to, well, we'll talk more about it. We don't do too many standing postures, but good to know. Thank you. Foot. I got you. Okay. All right. So here we are. We are still, and we are noticing the flow and rhythm of our breath in our bodies. So press down through those sitting bones, rise through the crown, and gently let those shoulders roll back and down away from your ears. So open up across your chest as much as you can. Keep that space nice and open, ready to receive. And briefly, but not too quickly, begin a head scan or a body scan from head to toe, softening your forehead, just kind of going down forehead, third eye space, cheeks, jaw. Even let your lips relax. And then just going down through the neck, the shoulders, the upper back. Notice if you're wearing those shoulders like earrings, can you soften them a little bit more? Create more space around your neck. And then upper back, mid back, abdominals, hips, glutes, upper legs, lower legs, feet, hands, upper arms, lower arms. Just release any tension that you might be carrying or holding on to in any of those spaces. You're sitting up nice and tall, but not too rigidly, comfortably. Allowing that breath, your prana, your chi, your life force to be grounded here. Before we do anything else, let that breath be established. Let's stay for 3 more cycles of breath right here. No movement, just breath. Gently begin to deepen your breath and then blink open your eyes. Little wiggle of your fingers and your toes. Good. Come back to your space, my friends. All right, we are going to start at the bottom. Let us go ahead and start with the feet. We haven't done this in a hot minute, and it's always nice to incorporate feet, and we'll do hands afterwards just to kind of get the energy out. This is big into like energy medicine yoga, if you're familiar with that. So I'm just going to take one foot, and you can take both hands, one hand, and we're going to just gently massage the long bones. So what I'm doing is in the foot, I'm just taking the fingers and stroking down towards the webbing where my toes are. And then once I get to the webbing, I'm going to squeeze the webbing in between each toe. I'm going to do this for both feet. We'll do the same thing with the hands. So just massage, just push that energy towards the webbing, squeeze the webbing. And then once you're done with the squeezing part, then we're going to go ahead and massage each toe. Massage each toe, give it a little rub, a little TLC, and then pinch the toenail. Good. Kind of squeezing off and pinching that energy. Good. And then if you want, you can turn the foot over so you are now pressing your thumbs into your sole. Ouch. So just gently, right? I gave my boyfriend a really good. When this space is not being utilized as a teaching space, I do have a massage table that I set up here. So I put him on the massage table with my out of sight red light and grounding mat that's in the corner over there. So I set him up on that and then gave him a nice foot rub. So the feet are so important, my friends. We need to take care of them, right? They do a lot for us. All right, and then when you're finished with one foot, you can switch to the other. Same thing. Take the fingers and just kind of smooth the skin down towards the webbing. And then you can squeeze the webbing to give it a little pinch, saying hello, good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where you are on the planet today. I love that we can all be in the same space here on Insight Timer without having to fly across the world to do this. This is where I find technology to be so awesome. Like with everything, right? There's good and bad. There's good stuff, good uses for the internet, and not so great uses for the internet. And when you're ready, again, just go down to the toes, massage each toe, and then pinch the toenail. Good. And then you can flip the foot over and thumbs into the soles of your feet, just giving them a nice little massage, saying thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do, all the miles you've walked, all the places you've taken me. Good. All right. And then once you have done that to each foot, then let's move to the hands. I know this isn't a typical like yin things here, but we do hold energy and we want to release that energy. So I'm going to do the same thing, massage the long bones and then pinch the webbing in between each finger. And then you can massage each finger and pinch the fingernail. And then you can continue with your nice smooth breath in and out. Good. So necessary. So mind you as well, if you wanted to do this before bed, in the evening, or when you're just hanging out before you go to bed, make this part of your little wind down routine. Take some hand lotion or massage oil. You can do the same thing. Nice and relaxing for bed. And then each finger, and then pinch the fingernail. Good. What do you think, Betty? She's like, I'm chilling, I'm good. All right, so hands and feet complete, and we can do some more footwork later. Alrighty, so let us go ahead and get down into our hips and our low back and see how that feels today. I want to be mindful about forward folding, so let us combine our stress, our asthma. Actually, this is going to hit all of them except for the feet. So we're going to go ahead and take a back bend, but a fully supported one. And then we're going to get into the lower body. So it's going to be soles of the feet come together. And then you get to decide all of the things you want to use for your posture. So reclined, bound, angle posture. I'm going to use a blanket for my feet for the support for my outside of my hips, or my shins rather. And then I will take just with the blocks today, I think. Now, one block at the tallest height, one at the medium height. And then if you have that bolster and you want to make it really nice for yourself, a little more supportive, I'm thinking about my friend here with the back issue here. So something like this, nice and supportive. Again, if you want it a little bit lower, this is all going to be very personalized. If you want it lower, then drop it lower. Maybe it's one block like that. You get to decide how much you want to come down. And I think I want to take it a little bit lower myself. So once you've decided your setup, sit in front of your bolster, soles of the feet come together. And if you have a blanket, or if you want to use blocks, or if you want to use a bolster, you can absolutely do that. You're going to bring yourself down over your structure, whatever that looks like. Right, and then arms can be alongside you. Now, good for heart opening, good for the lungs, good for grief, anything that we're dealing with here in the chest. This is the one of the areas that's going to benefit from this posture. And then we also have the lower body. We have hips and low back. So, I love to work everything if I can, upper body, lower body. And let us really take advantage of this posture. I'm going to put us here for 5 minutes. So really enjoy this posture. Put the props in the right place so that you feel nice and relaxed and comfortable in this position. It's going to be about stress, asthma, fatigue, hips, and low back. Some nice, gentle heart opening too. If you like, some arms are alongside you. You can bend the elbows and let the hands rest on the belly as well. That's another option. Last option, if you really want to get into the upper body, take the arms overhead, clasp elbows, and then hold here. So keep taking those nice, full, deep breaths in. Complete exhale out, nice and soft. And depending on your low back, maybe those feet pull closer in towards your groin, or maybe they move further away from your body. That all depends on where you want to feel the sensation. Where and how have we added stress to our bodies in this shape? Compression, tension, no twisting. Again, a brief scan through your body, head to toe. Noticing tension in your face or your jaw, gently release that on an exhale. Gently release your jaw. No tension here. And if you wish, and if you took your hands overhead, you can switch the crossing of the forearms. So the other forearm is in front. And if at any time the arms that are overhead, if they begin to tingle or go numb, that is your cue to bring your arms down. So bring them over your head for as long as you can safely. Try to keep engaging with those full breaths in. Use that breath as a tool to guide you in your shape. One of my favorite quotes from Bernie Clark, one of our main teachers of this beautiful practice, is that we do not use the body to get into the pose, we use the pose to get into the body. So don't worry about what you look like. It's about what you're feeling in your body. Take another big, full, deep breath into your body from the belly all the way to the collarbones. And then as you exhale, gently release your arms down. Good. And gently begin to straighten one leg out at a time if you can. And then bending one knee at a time and placing the feet on the floor. You can gently shift your hips over to one side and roll over carefully and use your hands to come back up. All right, friends, how we doing after that first shape? Oh, hope we're feeling a little bit more grounded, a little more open here. Yeah. Okay. So the next shape we're going to take, this is going to it's twofold, right? I want to hit the feet again, but then I also want to get into the low back and the hips and work with fatigue. Yes? Okay, cool. Yay. Love it. I'm glad you all enjoyed that. So if you need some movement, maybe you take some cats and cows, maybe it's a down dog. Take some movement, whatever that looks like for you. Listen to your body. What is your body asking for? If you want to stay seated, maybe it's windshield wipers, or maybe cats and cows, down dog. You have a few more moments of movement, and then we'll get back into some holds here. All right. Carefully move some of this stuff off. You may need some blocks, and you may need a blanket for the next set of postures we're going to do. All right, so first things first, I want to get into the feet. Now, the feet can be very sensitive. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to curl those toes under. Okay, that's what I'm going for. Now, make sure all toes are pointing the same direction. Now, we have choices here. We can stay up on top of the knees, standing over the knees, or a little more pressure added here to sit down on the heels. We're going to be here for 1 minute. Now, I know this is going to feel like a long time, but if you need to come up, you can do that. So maybe you start up, breathe here, okay? Let the feet open up a little bit, those toes, and then as you're ready, maybe you sit back. Again, a great opportunity to use our breath in a shape, releasing that tension. Again, check all 10 toes. Make sure that they are all facing the same direction. No toe left behind, literally. All the toes facing forward. Okay, nice breath here. Soften, release. We're almost there, about 15 seconds to go. We'll have a nice little release after this as well. Go ahead and use that breath. You know you want to quit. You're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Good. Come forward. Place those hands down. Uncurl the feet. And then I like to just do a little tap, tap, tap with the tops of my feet there on my mat. How are those feet doing? Okay. All right. Now I like to do this in twosies. The one now is going to be for the front of the ankles. So if you can, you're going to bring your feet, the tops of your feet flat. So you're sitting on your heels. Now, if you're like, you know what, my ankles just are not that bendy yet. It's not working for me. Then you can take a blanket roll. It could be a little roll or a big roll, depending on what you need for your feet. I'll just make it a little one. There's a little one. And I would place the fronts of my ankles over that roll. The idea here is we're going to stretch the front of our ankles. You can place your hands by your knees and then lift the knees up any amount. Now that's one choice. So there's with the blanket for support of the front of the ankles. Or if you want to take it deeper, if this works for you, you'll take a block and place it under the knee so it holds. That's if you're having difficulty maintaining that lift. Okay, so you get to do whatever you choose, my friends, but we have another minute here. So choose your version of our ankle stretch. Keep those hands down. If you need to come out of it, you can always lower the knees down for a moment and then rejoin. Go ahead, just breathing here. Nice, full deep breath in. Complete exhale, let it go. Feel that stretch. Getting into these feet for sure today. Let me know what you think in the chat. Love it or hate it? Well, whether you love it or hate it, it is absolutely necessary, right? We need some of these postures. You know, and I've heard a lot of teachers say, oh, you know, the pose you avoid is the one that you need the most. And I've heard other teachers go, oh, that's garbage. I happen to agree. Sometimes the pose we avoid is the one we need the most. Good. And then slowly release, bring those knees down. Okay, I got some hearts. So I guess that means you love it. Okay, I love it too. All right, release your feet. Again, if you want to take it into some pitter patters, tap, tap, tap. Or if you want to take one leg, extend it behind you, press through that heel. You can do that too. That's just more so for the legs if they feel a little bunched up and cramped. All right, nice press, and then you can do it a couple times. Each leg. Whatever else you need, go for it. All right, so now that we have our feet warmed up, we needed our feet warm for the next one. So this is where you're definitely going to want to use those blocks. Okay, now we are standing on our knees, coming into a camel shape. So blocks, you can bring those blocks by your feet. We have choices here. We're going to do this. We'll do it very slowly. We're going to come in and out of it just to kind of get us ready a little more for this shape. You can curl the toes under. So let me move my block. You can curl the toes under if that feels good to you. Or tops of the feet can be flat. Totally up to you. If you want to get that extra stretch in, then go ahead and turn those toes under. And then you can bring those blocks a little bit closer, actually. All right, so sitting up nice and tall. Let's bring the hands to the low back. Good, and then we're just going to open up here. So think about a beach ball behind you, and you want to lift up and over. So think the upper wheel of the back, I want that spinning so that we're lifting up. So squeeze the shoulder blades together, squeeze the elbows together. It doesn't have to be a back bend. And try not to drop back. Try to keep the shoulders over the hips. One more big breath here. Good, exhale, release. All right, once again, we're only doing this for a few breaths, and then we're gonna take a hold the third time we do it. So again, hands on low back, fingertips point down, keep those hips pressing forward, but lift up and over that giant beach ball behind you. Breathing. Complete exhale. Good, lift up a little bit more. And gently release. If you want to bring the hips down, you may. Rest for a moment. We're going to do that one more time, but we are going to hold for a little bit longer. I'm going to time it for 1 minute. If you need to come out sooner, then do so. So again, I want you thinking about fatigue, right? This is a bit, it can be a deeper back bend, but it is a back bend. And anytime we put the body into a back bend, it is going to be considered energizing. So great time of the day to do a posture in the morning like this. If you are someplace where it is in the evening time or later, then I would not take it very deep this last round. So don't go super deep. What this does is, like I said, it's energizing. So if you're getting ready for bed, you don't want an energizing posture. But if this is daytime and morning for you, then definitely take it as deep as you can. So again, think about the chest. So good for the lungs, good for that asthma, it's good for the breath. Think about fatigue, it's energizing. And then hips and low back and feet. So we're targeting a lot here. Now, kitty, I know there might be some stress going on. And for anybody else that has stress, again, maybe don't take it as deep, because what the back bend does, right? It squeezes the adrenals, which are on top of the kidneys. And that's where cortisol, our fight, flight, freeze, fawn chemical that comes out starts to get activated here. And that's why we don't do this back bend at night, because it releases cortisol, and that elevates in that fight, flight, freeze, energizing, right? So we want to be mindful about the poses we practice when. All right, I'm off my yoga soapbox now. All right, here we go. Last one, 1 minute. Curl the toes under or keep them flat, hands on low back. We're going to be here for a minute. Now, if it feels safe to you and it's the right time of day, maybe you take it deeper so you can put your hands on those blocks. But try to keep moving your hips forward. Oh, some compression here in the low back, but we have some opening here in the chest. Good. Keep looking maybe to where the ceiling and the wall touch. You can always look up towards the sky, but just be very mindful about dropping your head all the way back. Good. Just keep thinking about lifting your sternum towards the sky. That imaginary string pulling at your heart. Breathe across your chest. Keep pressing those hands down onto the blocks or to your back. All right, one more big breath here. Inhale. Good, and then come back up. Slowly sit back down. Exhale. Rest here. Pause. All right. Notice how your feet feel. Good. All right. I do want to bring us down into a child's pose for a counter pose, but I want to be very mindful about the backgrounding today. So if you like, your choice. If you want to come down all the way child's pose, go for it. No props. That's an option. If you want to come forward, but you want to use some props, then please take your bolster, take your blankets, couch cushions, whatever you have. And we're going to take this into like a reverse like this, how we did for reclined bound angle posture we did for the back. We're going to do the same thing, but only for the front now. So you can scooch, get close, right? And then if you want, you can also add a blanket here for a little more support. And then turn your head to one direction. So this would be your setup for child's pose if you're taking it fully supported. If you're not taking it supported, that's great too. All right, we're going to be here. Let's take our child's pose let's take it for 2 minutes. So as you're ready, come into your shape, whichever one you took, and just be here. If your forehead is on the ground, maybe you rock your head side to side. Keep reaching those sitting bones towards your heels, breathing into the back body. Carefully begin to bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And then slowly press into your palms. Inhale to come up. Again, if you want to stretch out one leg at a time, you can do that. That feels good. And just take a little gentle movement. You might be feeling that warm, dull sensation kind of around the knees, the knee joints, maybe the feet to the ankles. So be gentle. That's the rebound effect. It's going, oh, okay, we just stretched that. So be gentle with me after. Good. Alrighty. Beautiful. Okay, friends. So let's get a little bit more into our hips. So from here, let's take one leg out at a time. So if you need to sit on something, if you feel like your low back is rounding, grab that blanket, slide it underneath your hips, and then sit up nice and tall. All right, so my right leg is extended, left knee bent. Now this knee that is bent in the foot can touch the inside of the leg, or there can be some space. This is going to be a personal choice here for you. So from here, we're going to just turn a little bit towards that extended leg. This extended leg is very open, very loose. I'm not pressing through my heel. My toes aren't pointing up. It's very chill. Okay. All right. So inhale here and then a little turn, and then you can walk forward, or if you want to stay upright, that's fine too. We're going to take this in a series. So we'll do right leg, left leg, and then down the center. So be where you are. So that means maybe being upright or maybe coming into a little bit of a fold. Again, be mindful about the rounding if you're dealing with any back things. You all know your body's best, so I trust you that you're going to stop where you need to stop. And if you happen to go deeper than you normally do and it's not safe, then that's when I need you to use your judgment and go, okay, I took it a little too far. I don't need to be in my ego. I can come out of this. I need to protect my body because it's the only one I have, right? The closet is filled with clothes, not new bodies. So let's take care of this meat suit that we have right now. And then you take it as deep as you like when you are ready. We have about another minute to go on this side. So what I'm going for as we do this little turn to the extended leg, you're going to feel it in the opposite hip in the back here. So breathe into that space. Soften and release. Let it go. And don't forget, my friends, on Friday, chakra balancing yin yoga, 8 a.m. I'm doing it at 8 just because it's a better time for me that day. But all the other Friday practices will be at 4 p.m., just so you know. Keep working your way deeper into the shape if it suits you. Take another inhale and exhale. And then plant those hands. Inhale. Come back up if you came down. And then we'll just carefully switch those legs out. Left leg extends out, right knee bent, right foot can touch, or there can be a little space. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I disturb you? Pardon me. All right, friends, whether you're sitting up or coming forward, we're going to inhale, lift, and then maybe just a little turn, not a big turn towards that leg. And then staying here if this is appropriate, or when you're ready, just begin to walk your hands forward. Remember, it's not so much about how much we can lengthen, right? But how much can we release and let go here? Take that breath into the back body. Let it expand around the low back and the hips. Good. Exhale completely. Let it go. Notice where you are feeling the sensation. Keep breathing and exhaling completely. And if you're in that fold, let gravity do the work. Soften through the hips here and your low back. That's where the body wants to hold. Like, oh no, this doesn't feel safe. Let me clench up. Good. One more big breath in. Complete exhale out. Hands on the floor. Press into your hands. Inhale, come up. Okay, here we go. Let's take both legs open to the side. Again, make any adjustments as you need. Make sure you feel even on both sitting bones. Again, opportunity to stay right here if this is enough for you. Just try to keep those shoulders stacked over your hips. Good. And then remember, legs are nice and relaxed. Feet can kind of roll open to the sides. All right, now coming up, we have 2 minutes either staying upright or maybe there's just a little bit of a fold. Little bit of rounding here. Maybe it's hands, maybe it's elbows, maybe you use blocks even. You can take those blocks underneath the arms and rest here. Any height, whatever that is for you. Thinking about the low back and the hips here, and then the spine if you choose to take it into a deeper fold. These are all beautiful choices, whatever you took. I'm sure you all are doing your best to do what serves you today. Our bodies are always changing and adapting. So we, as yogis, need to pay attention to what signals and clues our bodies are giving us. And take it a little deeper when you're ready. This is all very personal. Stay for one more breath, my friends. And on your next inhale, walk your hands back. If you came into that fold, bring yourself up. Take your hands on the outsides of your legs and just kind of bring your knees in so they're about hip distance or maybe a little bit wider. And then an opportunity here just to kind of shift the knees left and right, windshield wipers. Get into those hips. Good. All right, just a little bit of movement, and then we will bring our bodies all the way down onto the floor. Be flat on our backs. If you want to have a block or a bolster or a couple blankets handy, we are going to take our spinal twist. So whatever props you need for that, have them close by. All right, friends, when you're ready, let's go ahead, lower all the way down. And then maybe before you come all the way flat, just pause with your knees bent. Let the knees knock in together for a moment. So feet are wide, knees are together, making a little pyramid with your legs. And just notice how this feels on your low back. If there was any tension that you were holding on to, or if it feels a little spicy now, just give it a little break. An option here to bring the knees in towards your chest. Give them a little rock side to side. And you can bring one foot down and take a half happy baby onto one side. That feels good. An option always to stay with the knee bent, or if you want to extend the leg, you can. Just taking a little movement before we get into our twist. And then gently switch the legs. Half happy baby, other side. Opposite knee bent, or you can slowly straighten that leg out. See how that feels. Just keep letting that knee drop open to the side. Nice hip opener here. All right. You can bend both knees back into your chest. Depending on the twist you're taking, maybe it's both knees together. You can drop the knees over to the right. Left arm and shoulder touch the ground. We're going to hang here for a couple minutes. So when you're ready, take that twist, single leg, double leg, or twisted roots. Up to you, my friends. If the left shoulder is not able to stay on the ground, I need you to bring those knees out of the twist a little bit and then find a prop and place it there so that the shoulder can be on the ground. We don't want floating shoulders. We want shoulders that are nice and grounded here. So just breathe. Soften as much as you can on each exhale. Let that exhale be nice and lengthy. Draw the breath out. Stay here for 2 more cycles of breath. And very gently, when you're ready, inhale, float those knees back up. Realign, recenter your spine. So maybe there's a little bridge in between, feet planted. And inhale, lift those hips up. And exhale, bring them down. If you want to do it a couple times, you can before we head over to the other side for the twist. Good. All right, friends. And then when you're ready, take your twist towards the left. Maybe both knees hug into the chest. Drop them over to the left. Single leg, both knees, and then right shoulder grounding. Here we go. A nice spinal twist to realign and recenter our spine, coming back to that neutral position. Good for realignment. It's good for digestion and elimination, fatigue. We're just kind of feeling generally stuck. Nice little twist in the abdominals help. And we breathe. Keep filling that belly on your inhale. And exhale, squeeze it out. All right, friends, on your inhale, lift those knees back up. Again, realign your spine, come back to that little bridge if you like. Lift the hips up And then slowly bring them down. Or maybe just some pelvic rocks. Gently lifting up the tailbone and then grounding it. Try to keep the low back on the ground. When you bring it into the pelvic tilt up, we bring it down, that automatically puts us into a little back bend in the lower spine. Good. All right, my friends, let us get into our Shavasana position. So maybe it's a bolster underneath the knees, a blanket under your head, or maybe nothing. This is a personal choice. And when you are ready, come down to your backs. Yay! I thoroughly enjoyed today's class today. All of the asks were like nicely woven together, I think. So it was meant to be. Whoever showed up and asked for things, I think it worked. So thank you for your participation and being honest and vulnerable and being willing to say, I really need this today. That's what we're here for. I love this. So come down to your backs. Find that flat part of your skull on the back of your mat or your blanket, whatever you're using under your head. And then arms can gently rest alongside you or bending your elbows, totally up to you, but soften into this shape. If you have the bolster under your legs, let your legs gently roll open to the sides. Relax the hips and low back. And here we have another opportunity to stay still and breathe. These moments are few and far between, so let us take full advantage of this opportunity right now. Take one more nice full deep breath in. Fill up your chest, your belly, and then slowly exhale, release it through the lips. 2 more, just like that. Inhale. And slowly release, let it go. Last one, inhale. Hold it briefly at the top and then slowly let it go. Exhale it out. Shavasana. All right, friends. Gently begin to deepen your inhales. Bring a little movement to your hands and to your feet. Hopefully they're feeling really good after we did all that footwork and hand work. You can take it into some wrist and ankle circles if that makes sense to you, if that feels good. Reverse. Slowly come back into your body. On the inhale, you can reach your arms overhead, take a full body stretch, and carefully bend one knee at a time. Place those feet on the ground. And in your own time, you can find your way up to a comfortable seat, and we will close our class today. All right, friends, how you doing? Good? Nice to see so many of you here this morning. Yay! How do we feel? Class was good, huh? I definitely enjoyed this sequence today. So, all right. I think Betty did too, huh? Yeah? 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 Okay. All right, friends, sitting up nice and tall, let's close our class. On your inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Palms touch. Exhale, bringing down all of that divine universal energy to your heart centers. And that divine universal energy vibrates as the frequency of love through which you and I and all sentient beings are connected on this planet. The light in me salutes and honors the light in each and every single one of you. Namaste, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your donations. Thank you for your asks of what you need in your practice today, because that is how I design the class. Except for Friday. Friday is going to be a fully already sequenced class. It's the yin chakra balancing class I like to do for the season change. We are heading into summer here in the western part of the world in the United States. So it's already hot here in Vegas. It's been hot for, I don't know, forever. But definitely hitting 100 degrees every single day here. So let us cool our bodies down before it gets too hot. That's why yin is a beautiful practice to have during the spring and the summer, because it is a very cooling practice. It's not a heated practice like our vinyasas and our bikrams and things like that. So yin is great to practice during the summer. And plus, we're getting all of our soft tissues nice and supple and hydrated, so we don't feel stuck and we feel like bendy and movey and we don't have any problems, right? Let's try to keep that youthfulness in our bodies. All right, friends, so great to see you. I will see you Friday. Practice will be at 8 a.m., but all the other classes will be at 4 p.m. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your donations again. Thank you, Steffi. Thank you, G3B. I hope it worked for you. Yay, Lori. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Also, if you are interested, I have a couple of video chats that are free on the free side of our Insight Timer, and it's about the 4 pillars of health. So not only am I a yoga teacher, I'm a well, I don't want to say former, I am a special education teacher. I'm going back to the classroom in the fall, but also a holistic nutritionist. So I do believe in the 4 pillars of health, which are nutrition, stress management, exercise, and of course, sleep. So I have a little chat about all 4 topics. They're very short, less than 3 minutes. So please feel free to go over to my page and peruse. Of course, along with all of the audio EFTs and meditations, I am going to be recording a couple more things this week since I am on my summer vacation. So I have a little time to do that. So friends, I will see you next time. If I don't see you Friday, I will see you next Tuesday at 8 a.m. Be well, stay well, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.